welcome to Dual Realm Book Review YouTube channel. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. So we've decided to switch gears a little bit and start doing kind of like an interview style book review, but it's really kind of like, oh, I'm looking at this book in the bookstore. Does it have spice? What are the tropes? What are the themes of the book? Is it something that I would be interested in? Is it something I'm not interested in? Those kinds of things. Because I found myself in the bookstore wondering how much spice is in here. Is it going to be annoying with the fated mates? Is it going to be, is it going to have miscommunication trope that is just going to annoy the crap out of me the whole time? So this is kind of our way of looking at different books in an interview style to kind of see what we're reading. So this week I'm going to be doing A River of Golden Bones. So I've read this book. Andy hasn't. So she's going to be asking me questions about it, like she's the interested reader, and I'm kind of her inside look into the book. All right. So I'm going to start by kind of going over its credentials. And so this is A River of Golden Bones by A.K. Mulford. It has 373 pages, very short chapters. It's single POV. Not very short chapters. I'd say they're about 10 pages each. Goodreads has a rating of 3.74. I gave it 4 stars. Spice rating is definitely a 3 pepper. So got a little spice in there. And then I'm going to read the synopsis from the inside of the book for you. So, a sleeping curse, a fallen court, a secret twin. Twins Kalia and Briar have spent their entire lives hiding from the powerful sorceress who destroyed their kingdom, and from the humans who don't know they are wolves. Each twin has their own purpose in life. Briar's is to marry the prince of an ally pack and save the Golden Court. Kalia's is to remain a secret, her twin's shadow, the backup plan. No one knows who Kalia truly is except for her childhood friend and sister's betrothed, the distractingly handsome Prince Grey. But when Kalia and Briar journey out of hiding for Briar's wedding, all of their well-made plans go awry. The evil sorceress is back with another sleeping curse for the last heir of the Golden Court. Kalia must step out of the shadows to save their sister, their kingdom, and their own legacy. Continuing to disguise herself as a human and denying her who she truly is, Kalia embarks on a quest across the realm, discovering a whole world she never knew existed. Outside the confines of rigid wolf society, Kalia begins to wonder, who could she be if she dreamed to try? Full of adventure, love, and gender exploration and self-discovery, A River of Golden Bones follows Kalia's journey through treacherous wolf kingdoms, monster-filled realms, and into the depths of their own heart in this thrilling romantic fantasy. So that pretty much kind of lays out what it's about. But yeah, so Andy, what are your questions as our potential reader?
I can definitely see why you picked it up, because it's got twins.
Yeah. Yeah.
The main themes in this book, what are they? And like, other than in the synopsis, like, what would be
kind of how did they come into play, I guess?
Yeah.
So definitely self-discovery. So as the synopsis talked about, there is a lot of LGBTQ plus representation in this book. And the main character, if you didn't hear the reference in there, she kind of is gender fluid. And she does, that's kind of her self-discovery. They refer to her as there or they. And it's an interesting development of the character throughout the book. So that's kind of her self-discovery. And you kind of go with her through the adventures and trying to figure out who she is outside of the world's expectations of her. Which I think we can all kind of relate to, because at least I know I personally
being in the shadow
bend to a lot of the world's expectations.
Fit in a box that you were
trying to be what everyone wants you to be. Yeah. Yeah, when you're not really that.
Hmm.
Actually, that was something I was thinking this week. I was like, you know what? I really like brightly colored clothes, and so I'm gonna start buying. Because I actually saw an ad for like an express like blazer that had like this
Hmm.
like crazy floral print on it, and I was like, I really like that, and I'm realizing that I am kind of not flamboyant, but like I like colorful,
Hmm.
bright clothes. Like, why don't I wear them more? Mostly because I'm always in scrubs. But other than that, I can wear crazy clothes when I go out. It's not a big deal.
Hmm.
Um, so the other main themes in this are definitely like friendship, strong friendship, loyalty, especially because it is wolf. It is a wolf thing,
Hmm.
werewolf shifter thing, and with the packs. So major loyalty vibes there, and found family, which I know is a little bit more of a trope than a theme, but it's also very reminiscent of like a Sleeping Beauty vibe retelling thing,
Hmm.
with the sorceress and the sleeping curse and the true love. Um, So, yeah, those are the main themes. I would say self discovery is the biggest one. That one's kind of the forefront.
Hmm.
And like I said, lots of LGBTQ plus representation.
Okay. And then the next question
So,
I had is
next
what
question.
what kind of tropes are in this book?
So, I will say this is definitely a fated mates. There is fated mates everywhere. Okay.
Hmm.
So, if you're tired of fated mates because you read SJM's uh, Crescent City, give this one time.
Okay.
Don't pick this up just yet. Definitely friends to lovers, found family, and there's the one bed or one tent in this case trope.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, those are the tropes.
And what about the world building? I know this is always an important question for me because I love going to I call myself an explorer reader. I like going to different worlds and I want to feel like I'm there.
So I will say this is pretty light. Very much falls in the romantasy genre. There is a world. She does a good job building it. But it's not super in depth. You're not getting it massive info dumps. You're not you get a good world, but it's not super detailed. So
Okay.
it's very, very light world building, I would say.
Okay. And then emotional depth or impact. How dark is it? Is this something that I'm going to be crying over, or is this kind of more of a lighter read?
Um, there's definitely some emotional parts. If you really resonate with that self-discovery and that feeling of I've always felt like I never fit in, it can be a little bit emotional, I think, for you, but it was overall pretty light. I don't think it was gut wrenching in any way. I didn't emotionally feel like crying. I did feel connected, but I didn't feel like it was a tearjerker or anything like that. It was definitely not. It was lighter, not dark. There is some death, dying, violence, I
Yeah,
guess, but nothing crazy.
nothing too heavy. No, nothing too heavy. Um,
Hmm.
Character depth or
No.
dimension. How multifaceted are the
So
characters?
again, so the main characters are fairly multifaceted, I would say. They're emotionally deep. Again, Kalia is going through a full self-discovery through this book, so she has the most dimension.
Mhm.
And then as you get to the smaller characters, they can become a little tropey, um, as far as like, oh, he's the jealous brother, and
Mhm.
he acts very much like the jealous brother, or trying to think a couple others. Yeah, the side characters are cute, but they're not. they're tropey. They're exactly as you would expect a brother sister relationship.
To be.
So, yep. Mhm.
Okay, and then the last one you already kind of said was spice, so a 3 pepper. So kind of on the spicy side for me.
Yes.
I'm not the most spice
Mhm. Yeah.
forward person. Uh,
Yeah, it's definitely spicy. There are at least 3 or 4 detailed sex scenes. And I would say it's no kinks, no craziness, no um submissive dom stuff, no like weird things, just detailed. So, and
okay.
multiple. At least three, if I remember. So, um, and then I was gonna add some similar titles. I don't really read too many shifter wolf things, at least not that I can recall off the top of my head. So I basically just put the High Mountain Court, which is her other series. So,
Okay, so it's kind of
AK
in the same
Wolfer's
vein
other
for
series.
her.
Yeah, but I think that one deals with Fae, if I
Okay.
recall correctly. So,
Okay.
which it may be similar because I've never read it, so I don't know. It's just her other book, her other series. Because I really can't think of another book I've read that's similar to this. So, I mean, I guess SJM's like Crescent City, but that's so much more detailed. So, like, it's just a much bigger world, SJM's. So, with angels and demons, and it's got a lot
There's a
more
lot more going
going
on.
on than this book. Yeah, this is much easier read.
Okay. One
And
last
that.
question then.
So,
Would you recommend it
any
to
other questions?
would you recommend it to someone else?
Yeah, not you.
Someone else.
But yeah,
No.
I would definitely recommend it to several of my other friends who read Spice #1, who read Romantasy primarily. I would definitely recommend it to them, or if they don't mind Spice. The other thing I know currently, or I know that you're one of your most hated tropes is fated mates. So
Yes. Yeah.
I would not recommend this to you, but
Pretty much anything with a
my
wolf
other
pack.
friends who don't mind fated mates, yeah, you're probably out.
Yeah.
um,
It's got a couple
but yeah,
things
so
against it for me.
if
But
yeah,
that's okay. To
yeah,
each their own.
exactly. So which all works.
Well,
Yep.
and which is exactly why we
Yeah,
do
I
the
don't mind
show.
fated mates, so it didn't. Yeah, yes, because again, you can figure out if these tropes work for you. If they don't work for you, then you can
Skip
pass
this one and go to something
it right
else.
on
Yep.
by, or you can pick it up. Yep,
Yes. When our
because there's too much out
TBRs,
there to read,
yeah,
and
when our
to get stuck on
TBRs are
something you don't like.
so long, we just need a little bit of help selectively
Yeah.
choosing.
All right. Well, that's all for us. Like and subscribe, and we'll be back for more later in the week. Oh, and that's the other thing. So with this new style, we're going to start posting twice a week. So Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right. That's all for us.